Imagine this. You're about to have your baby and you're surrounded by a skilled team of OBs and nurses and medical assistants, and they're stellar at their jobs, but let's be honest, sometimes they talk in a lot of medical lingo that can feel like a foreign language. So if you're not familiar with the childbirth jargon like meconium and apgars or perineum, it might feel overwhelming, especially during those intense moments where there's not a lot of time for your medical team to explain things to you. And that's why in this video, we're gonna break down these sciencey medical terms that you're gonna hear during labor and delivery. Think of it as a quick language course, but childbirth edition. Now, hopefully by the end of this video, you'll not only understand what your medical team is talking about, but you'll also feel more confident and prepared for your baby's big arrival. But first, I'd love to hear where you're coming from. Are you pregnant now? And if so, how far along are you? Put that in the comment section below. This video today is sponsored by Pink Whale, but for now, let's jump into this video. Pregnancy and preterm words. Keep in mind, some of these words you might already know and others you might not. But for other viewers, they might not know many of these words, which is why I try to be thorough, because if you haven't had a baby before, like, why are you gonna know these words? So let's start off with amniotic fluid, which is the protective liquid that fills the sac surrounding the baby. And believe it or not, it consists mostly of water and fetal urine. Next is term, which refers to the baby being born between 37 and 42 weeks, with the best outcome being born in the 39th and 40th week of pregnancy. Preterm, which is where babies are born before 37 weeks of gestation. Postterm, which is where pregnancy lasts more than 42 weeks. Breech presentation is when the fetus is positioned head up to where they're gonna be born with the buttocks first, or with one or both feet first. Complete breech is where the baby's butt is down, but the legs are folded Indian style with the feet down. Frank breech is where the baby's butt is down and the baby's legs are extended straight up in front of the baby's head. And then incomplete breech is where one leg is folded down and the other is extended straight. And just so that you know, 3 of my 4 babies were all breech. Next, let's go into labor and delivery words. These 8 terms are probably more well known, but I'm gonna cover them quickly because you're definitely gonna hear them during your labor and delivery experience, and you're gonna wanna know what they all mean. First is contractions. This is the regular tightening of the uterus working to push the baby down the birth canal. Labor is where you're having regular contractions of the uterus that result in dilatation and effacement of the cervix, and I'm going to talk about those words here in a minute. Next is crowning, and this is where the baby's head has passed through the birth canal and the top of the crown or the head is visible at the vaginal opening. Now, dilatation is the extent to which the cervix has opened in preparation for childbirth, and that's measured in centimeters. So 0 means that the cervix is closed, and then 10 centimeters means that the cervix is fully dilated and the baby can come out. Effacement is the thinning of the cervix in preparation for the birth, and that is expressed in percentages. So for example, like 50% effaced or 100% effaced. Ruptured membranes. Now this is the medical way of just saying that the water is broke, which means the fluid-filled sac surrounding the baby has broken, and it's usually indicating the onset of labor. Perineum is an anatomical name of the muscle and the tissue between the vagina and the rectum. Vaginal extractor is an instrument used to assist in guiding the baby's head out of the birth canal. It's not always used, but if they do say the word vacuum extractor, that's what they're talking about. Now, before I move on, I want to talk about Pink Whale new mom gift boxes, because as an expecting mom, you have undoubtedly purchased and also received gifts for the baby. Diapers, clothes, toys, which is fine. You need them, but these new mom gift boxes are all about you mom. They're all about pampering you and offering you a little relaxation, because you're the one doing all the work here. You're tired, you're uncomfortable, so to have a little gift box that pampers you, well, you deserve it. And I'm gonna link to it in the video description. It's so cute. Check it out for yourself or somebody you know who really could use it. But now, back to the video. Next, let's talk about 6 words you might hear surrounding the baby and the baby's health. Starting with APGAR, which is short for appearance, pulse, grimace response, which is referring to baby's reflexes, activity, and respirations. It's a way to measure the newborn's response to birth and life outside of the womb. So shortly after your baby is born, they will be assessed and given an APGAR score, and then the test is repeated 5 minutes later. So you're actually going to be given 2 APGAR scores. 10 is a perfect score, but almost nobody gets a perfect 10. An APGAR score that's 7 or higher is generally considered normal. Fetal distress. This is where your baby is showing signs before and during childbirth, indicating that they're not doing well. And it's often because they're not receiving enough oxygen or experiencing complications. Next is jaundice. This is a condition in newborn babies characterized by yellowing of the skin because of their immature liver's inability to process excess red blood cells. This is usually treated just by placing the baby under special lights that helps the body break down bilirubin, which is what is causing the yellow skin. Meconium. This is your baby's first poops. It's like a dark greenish sticky poop that builds up in the baby's bowels, and it's because of the amniotic fluid that they have swallowed while they are in your tummy. Neonatologist is a doctor who provides medical care to newborn babies, particularly those that are requiring special attention. NICU just stands for Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, and it's a specialized unit in the hospital specifically for the intensive care of newborns. Next, let's talk about delivery techniques and procedures. Cesarean is an incision through the abdominal and uterine wall for the delivery of the baby, commonly known as a C-section. I had 3 C-sections myself. Episiotomy is an incision made to the perineum, we talked about that earlier, in order to widen the vaginal opening for delivery. Some OB and midwives perform them, some don't, so talk that over with your OB so you know what they do and don't do. Next is epidural. This is a common method of anesthesia that's used during labor, and it's where medicine is inserted through a catheter near the spinal cord to provide pain relief. So hopefully knowing these words will help you better understand what your medical team is talking about when you are in labor and when you are delivering the baby. You don't have to sit and make flashcards about these terms. I think just being familiar with them, just hearing them, will just help you to have a better and less stressful experience. I hope that you like this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to Diana in the Pink. If you're new to my channel entirely, I've done a whole pregnancy series walking you through pregnancy week by week. We talk about pregnancy symptoms, how your baby is developing, what to expect at your OB appointments, just pretty much everything that you need to know about pregnancy that week we talk about in that week's video. So I'm gonna link to that right here. Click on that and I will see you over there.